Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. The smile is a hint of sarcasm. It's a very, very, very subtle sign of sarcasm because, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get this intro. Let me get this intro in. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lanice and I'm doing a cool nursing video today. If you're new here, hello, welcome. As I said, my name is Lanice. I'm a registered nurse. I do these cool little nursing videos and I'm so glad that you tuned in for another video. And if you're not new here, hello, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to another video. I really feel loved and I really appreciate you tuning in to another one of my videos. Now, I say that this smile is a subtle hint of sarcasm because this is my second time recording the video. I felt like I did magnificent the first time I recorded the video. And let me add my computer. I dropped my computer off of the bed the other day. The screen was working, just had a couple of lines on it. And then I go to open my computer now to start recording this video and it's completely broken. So that's just my night in a nutshell, and I have to work in the morning, so I'm kind of like irritated about that. Then my dog, just let him out, Lariah, just let him out, because he's gonna whine the whole time. My dog is whining. For some reason, he doesn't like for me to talk to the camera. He only likes me to talk to him. So anyways, this is my second time recording this video, so I don't have as much energy as I did the first time, but I have to get this video done. So, Lariah, just let him out. Golly. So anyways, let's go ahead and get the show on the road. So, getting into the topic at hand, today we are going to talk about microaggressions. I know that you probably clicked on this video because, for one, you guys like story times. I noticed with my first story time last week about how I worked with a murderer. Yes, if you have not watched my story time from last week, you need to watch how I worked with a real life nurse murderer and my take on it. And if you guys are interested, I actually have a follow-up because one of my old coworkers watched that video and actually gave me a follow-up. So if you want the juicy news, just comment down below and we can talk about the follow-up and what he's got going on now. A little bit of housekeeping. I am in my living room. I'm trying to find like the best place to record. And so I want to first say hello to my plants. Please forgive me. My Dieffenbachus here, Dieffenbachus, however you pronounce it, is not doing very, very good. He's not doing very good. And in the first video, I gave you guys the whole backstory on how I'm trying to nurse my Dieffenbachus back to life. However, this is the second time recording a video and I don't really have time to do that. So, you know, if you guys want a brief history of my plants and what I have going on with my plants, comment down below and I'll talk to you guys. I'll do a separate video about my plants. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get straight to the content today. So I know that you guys probably tuned in because the title of this video is going to be something similar to the time I worked with a nurse who said the N-word or something, because guess what? I worked with a white nurse that actually said the N-word in front of me. Like, who really gets to experience this kind of stuff, you know? And so that kind of just also made me think about making sure I do a video on what it is like to be a black nurse in a white woman's career field. Majority of nurses are Caucasian women, and I am a woman, but I'm not Caucasian, and so my experience is very different. So we'll talk about that, and we'll kind of talk about the microaggressions that I do encounter while working as a nurse. And if you guys are new, if you're new here, you don't know that I might be reading from my little notebook because I have the habit of rambling, and maybe that's why God had me to have to record this video again, because I did a lot of rambling in the last one, but I still feel like it was a really good video. So anyways, here we go. We'll get straight to it. So you guys, my favorite coworker, I had a favorite coworker. She was Caucasian, but I still loved her anyway because I love everybody. But she said the N-word in front of me, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you an example. I'm not going to give you an example. I'm going to tell you exactly how it went. So she and I, we were sitting there just chopping it up at the nurse's station. You know how we do. You guys know when you're just getting in your charting and you're sitting with your favorite coworker and you guys are just chopping it up, laughing or whatever. We were just having a conversation about relationships, and she was talking about her then boyfriend, now husband. Don't know if she made a good decision. No, I'm just playing. But she was talking about how her boyfriend at the time hadn't been paying the bills. And she was, telling me that he hadn't paid the bills in a couple of months. And she was like, and I know that he knows these bills are coming in. And I'm just like, nigga, are you going to pay some bills? And I'm like, my initial reaction, I just looked at her. My whole face just dropped. And I was like, I didn't really know how to handle the situation. I didn't tell on her. I didn't go to HR. I didn't go to management. Now, don't get me wrong. I did tell my other black coworkers. I did. I did. But I didn't correct her or try to educate her because I just feel like she knew, because she turned around and said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it that way. But that let me know that she uses that type of language in her day to day because it just came out so comfortably for her. So that's obviously a word that is in her vocabulary. Kind of like the S word in mine every time I stub my toe on the couch. But anyway, so that just let me know that she uses that type of vocabulary in a day-to-day, probably when she's around her white friends. Why? I have no clue. But it just flew off her tongue so freely that I knew what it was. So that just made me want to really sit down and do a video for my subscribers, whether they be white or black, and just kind of talk about some of the microaggressions that black women go through, and women of different races. We all go through small microaggressions as women in general. There are a lot of microaggressions that women face, but then whenever you're a person of color and you're a woman, the microaggressions just kind of pile on top of each other. And being that nursing, as I said before, is a majority white woman career, being a woman, there aren't any real microaggressions towards women that you run into or you encounter as a nurse, because you're expected to be female whenever you're a nurse anyway. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get on with it. So the first thing is, anytime you see a name that is not Elizabeth, Susie, Kelly, Anne, something very generic, that don't assume that just because there's a black person on the floor, that is the black person's name. And I'll give you an example. On my last floor, there were 3 black nurses. It was me, Lanice, it was Shamika, and Danita. And I cannot tell you how many times somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, are you Shamika?" Just because I'm black. No, my name is not Shamika. My name is Lanice. Instead of assuming because I'm African American that I'm Shamika, ask me what my name is. Do that for me. Ask me what my name is. That would make life a lot easier. So that is a small microaggression that I face all the time. Now that I'm working in Charlotte, at that time I was working at a smaller facility in a very hick town. So it wasn't very many black nurses in the whole hospital. Now that I work in Charlotte, there are a lot more black nurses, so I don't run into this, because a lot of times when I go on a floor, it's all black nurses, depending on the floor. So I don't really run into this as much, but I know that for all my black nurses out there that are like 1 out of 5 in a 300-something bed facility, I feel your pain. Correct them when they're wrong and they assume your name is Keisha when your name is Sarah. Okay, microaggression number 1. Microaggression number 2 is, no, you cannot touch my hair. I know it's lovely. I know it is. lovely. I know. I've been growing it for two and a half years now. It's beautiful. It has done its thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I definitely went through the ugly phase. I did. I too had an ugly phase. I know. Can you imagine? But no, you cannot touch my hair. Do not ask. Do not ask how long it takes me to get my hair done. Don't do it. Like, why does it even matter to you? Because you could never do it. So why does it fascinate you so much? It's just like, if I were white, I will never be, but if I were white, I would love to have the white girl hair that's like real thick and black and curly and long, that you just feel like you go through like 7 or 8 ponytail holders in a day because those things just cannot hold all of your hair. I love seeing white people with that kind of hair. And redheads. If I were white, I would either want hair like that or I would want to be a redhead, because I just have this fascination with redheads. I don't know what it is. I just love red hair for some reason. Red hair and freckles. Oh my gosh. Like I would never date anybody like that. Do I want to look like that? No. But if I had to be Caucasian, I would want to be one of those looking Caucasians. You know, it's just I just like it. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's a fetish. Don't know. But when I come across people with those types of hair, with that type of hair or braided hair or whatever it's called, I don't ask them, I don't care to touch it. I'm not like, oh my gosh, can I touch your hair? I'm like, oh, your hair is pretty. I admire it from a distance, but I will never have hair like that. I don't care about your hair, and I would never ask, can I touch your hair? No. I don't understand. Like, I'm not a dog. You cannot pet me. Do not touch my hair. So yeah, that's my second microaggression that I feel like, you know, and I understand that people are curious. I understand that people are fascinated, but baby, don't curiosity killed the cat. Okay. We're going to leave it at that. So anyways, something else that I encounter, is people assuming that I am not the nurse because I'm black. And I know it's because I'm black, because I will be in the room with a white CNA and they will ask who is the nurse when I have RN in big letters. And then they don't even really ask who's the nurse, to be honest with you. They just assume the white girl is the nurse because they start talking to her about their medicine. She can't get you your medicine, baby. That's me. That's me. But for some odd reason, you know, and this is not something that my coworkers do, because of course my coworkers know I have on blue scrubs. They know me. They know I'm a nurse. It's the patients that do this. But yes, they assume because I'm the black one, I am not the nurse, and baby, I am. So be nice to me. Talk to me nice. Okay. Okay. So those are probably like the most, those are the microaggressions, or those are the things that happen to me the most. I could probably go on and on about certain things. You know what I didn't do, you guys? I just realized I didn't even give you guys a definition of microaggressions before I went into what microaggressions I am up against all the time at work. So let me first tell you exactly what a microaggression is, okay? According to Webster's definition, is a statement, action, or incident regarded as an instance of indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against members of a marginalized group, such as a racial or ethnic minority. Another definition: indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against members of a marginalized group. So now you know exactly what the definition of a microaggression is and why those things that I just named are considered microaggressions. A very simple microaggression is assuming that all black people can sing. And I watched a video earlier today, and it was where they were singing happy birthday to one of the coworkers, and they were like, as they turned around and asked the black girl to sing like a little solo, because they just assumed that all black people can sing. I can't sing, I can't braid, I can't double dutch. You know, I'm black though, but I can't do any of those things that I know other black people can do. So now that you guys know what microaggressions are and the ones that I face a lot as a nurse, especially in the hospital, I'm just going to kind of tell you guys what I do to combat it, or to not feel like I have to conform to someone else's standard. So the first thing is, I don't code switch, y'all. I do not feel the need to code switch the same way that I'm up here talking to you guys on YouTube. I talk to everyone at work, whether it's my manager, whether it is my patients, whether it's housekeeping, whether it's the CNA, it doesn't matter. I actually was invited to a breakfast with the CNO, who is the chief nursing officer, and the CEO of my old hospital. And when I sat down at that breakfast, when they asked me to voice my concerns, guess what I did? I voiced my concerns, and I talked the same way I talk to everyone else, because I just don't feel the need to code switch, especially not in a world where people are trying to culturally appropriate the way I talk anyway. People are trying to learn my lingo. No, I just don't. I don't feel the need to code switch. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't use profane language. At home, I do. I know that's unprofessional. I know how to be professional, but I don't feel the need to be proper. I don't feel the need to completely enunciate all of my words. I don't feel the need to be less country. I just feel the need to talk and be myself, and I think that that is respected. Another thing is, I snap back. Like, I know that black people, or black women especially, get the stigma of being the angry black woman, of being aggressive, abrasive, all of those things, and I do not care. If you say the wrong thing to me, I'm not going to bite my tongue. Biting my tongue hurts. I'm going to snap back, and I don't care if it makes someone scared. Because normally it's not black people who are scared of my firmness, my assertiveness, of my smart mouth. It's not. It's not people that look like me that claim to be intimidated by me. It's people who don't. And I don't feel the need to try to make other people feel more comfortable by not being myself. And now, don't get me wrong, I probably could use a little bit more tact, and I probably don't have to say everything that I'm thinking. I can be a little less verbal, but I just don't feel the need to not be that way when I'm around Caucasian people, just because I'm around Caucasian people. Okay? Yeah. So we'll just leave that at that. So something else, another tip that I would give anyone is I don't try to explain anything black or about black people just because a Caucasian person, you know what, they gave us the race black, so I'm going to call them white. Just because a white person asked me to, just because a white person says, hey, Lanice, why do black people do this? Or, hey, Lanice, why do black people do that? I don't explain it to them. I don't. Because first of all, who are you to assume that all black people do anything? Only I can assume that because I'm black. You do not assume that all black people are alike, because when you assume all black people are alike, it has a very negative connotation. When I assume all black people are alike, I just assume that all black people keep their grocery bags, or all black people love their grandmother, or all black people wouldn't kill their grandmother. Those are the types of things that I'm thinking whenever I think about all black people doing something. I'm not thinking about all black people stealing, or all black people committing crimes, or anything like that, so don't expect me to explain why black people do anything. It's not for you to understand, even if it is true and all black people do it, because you're not black. Okay, so we will leave that at that. I just don't explain things. I'll give you an example about that. I had a white lady I was working with, and she referred to herself as a redneck. And I told her, I said, hey, I'm not going to take offense to that. but don't call yourself a redneck in front of someone else black, because they may take offense to that. And she was like, I don't understand. Why would anybody care that I call myself a redneck? That just means I'm country. That's just what it means to me. I'm like, look, it doesn't mean that to other black people. And I just left it at that. I didn't feel the need to explain that, because deep down inside I felt like she really knew anyways. But anyways, I hope that was a good example of how I don't explain anything to anybody when it comes to me being black, even though it was kind of a different example than the ones I gave earlier. But anyways, another thing is, as you can see, my hair, like I said earlier, it's lovely, it's luscious, it's beautiful. But this, even though I have not, today is January 24th, the day after my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. It's January 24th. I have not had a retwist since December the 2nd. And a lot of times I go like 12 weeks in between retwists. My hair, and before I locked my hair, I actually had loose natural. And so I always wore afro. And then after that, I cut my hair short, and it was still loose natural, but that's when I shaved my sides. Like, all my sides were shaved all around here, and it was short down the middle. And I didn't care. I didn't care about having to straighten my hair. I didn't care about having to wear a wig. I didn't care about trying to make my hair presentable for people who don't understand my hair. So I am just myself. I don't feel the need to conform to be anything or be anyone that I'm not, just because someone else might not find my hair to be presentable. I wear my hair how I want to wear it, regardless of what anyone thinks. And I feel like that's that's how I fight microaggressions. I'm just myself. I'm just myself. I am black. I'm very black, baby. This is winter time, and I'm chocolate. So imagine in the summertime, I'm probably the same color as my hair. But anyways, I am black. I am very proud. I feel like being black was the best thing God ever did for me. I tell people that all the time, and I mean it. I absolutely love being black. And that's hard for people in a white world, in a white career. It is hard for people to accept that people really love who they are when they're black. And I stand in that, and I own that, regardless of who I'm working with, regardless of where I am. And I feel like I get a lot of respect, at least to my face. Now, what people say behind my back ain't got nothing to do with me. I cannot address mail that was not sent to my house. So I can't worry about that. But as far as me and mine and the life that I live, I'm very confident in my place as a nurse. I'm very confident in my intellectual ability, and I carry myself as such. And being confident in who I am in my career, I feel like I'm excelling. I feel like I am respected, and this is just how I do it. This is how I choose to do it. Now, I'm not trying to be the voice for every black woman out there, or every black nurse out there. This is just my experience, which is based off of what's happened to me. This is just my view, that's just based off of my experience and off of my education and my age and all those different things. So I'm speaking for me, but I can almost guarantee I can almost guarantee there's some other black nurses out there feel the same way. So my energy is running low, and I really, really want to edit this video and get it out to you guys, even though this is like my third time. I am so mad, y'all. I am so mad. That video ain't had no sound, child. Whole time I was hitting the mute button. So sad. But anyways, I am going to get out of here, and I hope that you guys took something from this. Please like, please subscribe, please hit the bell notification so you know whenever I post new videos. And I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. And I'm gonna go ahead and go. And I hope it was educational, informational, and enjoyable. And I'm gonna head out. Peace.